Maayong hapon.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second part of today's virtual session on leadership, a webinar series on technical assistance in the new normal. My name is Fatima Christy Palanya, and I will be your moderator. But before we start, let us all watch this video on etiquette in attending webinars. I hope we are all guided now with the things that we must observe while attending this webinar. I'm excited to see you all here, excited about the topic, which is relevant to us all and our situation today. Well, can you just imagine, with all these adversities, how do you think organizations will be without great leaders? Joining us today is an amazing man and a visionary leader. He will be discussing on averting crisis in education. Our resource person is a proud Leyteño, hence the hashtag Taga Leyte Ako. He started his career at the Department of Education Division of Leyte as a teacher. From there, he rose from the ranks, became a head teacher, a principal, a supervisor, and was promoted as the OIC ASDS, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, and became the OIC SDS of Leyte Division back then. Prior to his current assignment, he was the Schools Division Superintendent of Maasin City, Northern Samar, and Ormoc City. And now he is back as the Schools Division Superintendent of DepEd Leyte Division. He is a supportive father of a CPA lawyer and a loving husband of a master teacher. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Manuel P. Albaño, CESO 5. Again, ladies and gentlemen, our resource person, Dr. Manuel P. Albaño, CESO 5.
Hello, good afternoon. Naklaro ko? Can you hear me?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Klaro,
sir.
sir.
Good afternoon.
Klaro, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Klaro po.
Kumusta?
Ayun,
I wish I would be able to meet you in person, but because of our current situation, we have to shift to a new strategy. This morning, our regional director shared his thoughts about resilience. And he even appreciated our being resilient people. Kaya we are proud to say, Tagaliti ako, Tagaliti kami. Again, I'd like to check, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon po.
Yes, sir, honey. Klaro. Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon, fellow stewards of education, and
Good
for the
afternoon,
viewers of
sir.
pilot episode of Leadership Friends, our SDO's initiative for technical assistance in the new normal. It is being said that it is not just the world that's changing the education landscape now. It's the orchestrated great efforts of the education leadership that's starting to change the world. We reflect how we as agents of change manages the changes around us. Averting crisis in education is no ordinary task. It requires ordinary skills done in an extraordinary way. With learning continuity as our main goal at hand, we recognize the need to strategize for all systems work towards this said goal. Let's have a brief activity. Kindly close your eyes for a while. Take a deep breath and relax. Imagine yourself on August 24, 2020. Imagine the parents of our learners in schools and designated module distribution posts. Where are you in the picture? What are you doing?
Libot-libot sa eskwelahan,
Where
sir.
are your teachers?
Monitor, to silang room.
What are they doing?
Nag-distribute, sir, sa mga...
Now imagine the learners receiving the modules from their parents.
Ibang punong mata, sa imagine.
What time of the day will they start working on it?
Lashite, sir.
Where will they call if they need help to understand something in the module?
Sa
What
school head,
role
sir.
do the parents play in the scenario?
Sabi mo.
Now slowly open your eyes. If you imagine a smooth flow of conduct of the distance learning realities applied in your school, you are on your way of averting the impeding education crisis. But if you imagined a lot of questions on that day and you saw chaos everywhere where people around you is looking for somebody to blame, you might be leading into the very crisis itself that we wanted to avoid. Crisis as defined by Oxford is a time when a difficult or important decision must be made. With our unexpected guest, the COVID-19, we need to make important decisions for the continuity of education. Each one's decision-making skills are very important in preventing crisis. To be or not to be in crisis is our choice. Every second counts. We can't afford delays and we can just sit and wait for what will come. We need to make the right decisions so we can beat our challenges and make distance learning possible in this time of health emergency crisis. But where shall we start our journey? It's in our inspiration, in our dreams, in our quest for quality education in the new normal. Goals are important for any education system to succeed. As a nation, our thrust remains as we strive to contribute to the realization of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which includes the provision of quality education. Whether in normal or new normal times, DepEd is bound to give the best kind of service regardless of what learning modality is used. We play a big role in the attainment of the long-term development goal of the Philippines, articulated in the government's Ambition 2040, wherein we see all sectors of society, whether public or private, directing their efforts towards creating opportunities for Filipinos to enjoy a matatag, maginhawa, at panatag na buhay. By 2040, the Philippines envisions a prosperous middle-class society where no one is poor. People live long and healthy lives and are smart and innovative. The country is a high-trust society where families thrive in vibrant, culturally diverse, and resilient communities. In this long-term goal, education is the key. With teaching and learning as our key business, the responsibility of ensuring our graduates are leading to become innovative, smart, healthy, and prosperous individuals lies heavily in our hands. The SID goals remain even in these times of the new normal. Our ways in the system are geared on meeting these desired goals by ensuring every little step we make in the department is contributory to this dream and to our departmental goal of providing education that is of quality and relevance. The normal and the new normal education systems are bound in the same goals but different needs. The department is facing major challenges so that our learners will be provided with opportunities for quality education and be contributor to national goals. Challenges include the following aspects: curriculum adjustments, alignment of learning materials, various modalities of delivery, and corresponding teacher and parent or guardian training for homeschooling, according to Neil Alcover, Daily Tribune, May 6, 2020. As to the minor setbacks we are facing, internet connectivity issues needed for the ongoing webinars and other capacity building activities is one. Some of us fear for possible COVID infection, more so that our schools are used as quarantine facilities. And our partnership attempts may not have answered our needs for various resources to run the distance learning modalities in our school. School leaders' initial response to avert the crisis in education is the crafting of the learning continuity plans. If you followed well the instructions given in crafting this plan, you now have a picture as to where you are leading your learning communities into. Preparing your school's LCP is a major step to avert crisis in education. The continuity plans are contextualized to suit the conditions of the schools. The SID plans, more than just outlining the operation framework of schools in the new normal, addresses key issues in curriculum, learning resources, modalities, and partnerships. The continuity plans ideally should have considered conducts of curriculum reviews. How many of you now have conducted school-based review of MELT? How many of you have asked teachers to contextualize the MELTs? Why start with MELT? It is the heart of the teaching and learning process. It's what learners are to learn while we are still in the new normal. School leaders ideally should have already distributed the MELT to all the teachers in school and probably should have conducted small group lock sessions to thresh out gray areas of the curriculum. School leaders should have seen how the MELTs can be contextualized to make learning more meaningful. A well-capacitated teaching force on MELT is most likely to yield relevant outputs. The curriculum will certainly need resources to run, one of which is the availability of modules in which DepEd is currently attending to. The central, regional, and division offices have coordinated activities to ensure the alignment of learning resources to MELT. Series of activities are being conducted to make sure that quality-assured modules can be provided both in print and digitized formats. Schools were asked to prepare activity sheets and budget of lessons to ensure that learners have supplemental resources to learn from in support of the modules to be given. A key step in our strategy to ensure smooth transition to the new normal is the use of contextualized teacher-made activity sheets. With the help of our master teachers, the SID worksheets ideally should have undergone quality assurance and probably should have started printing some weeks before the opening of classes. As to the various learning modalities to be offered in schools, our division office is recommending the following modalities to be used. Modular distance learning on print, modular distance learning digitized copy, educational PV for selected municipalities and case stages, radio-based instruction for selected municipalities and case stages. Our main modality in schools is the modular distance learning, both in print and digitized. The reality that some learners will still struggle learning even if given modules, the teacher may give supplemental activities like additional reading materials or audio-video based lessons. At the school level, what could have been done so far to prevent crisis before August 24? Have produced a list of learners who will avail of the modular print and modular digitized copy. Have produced a list of learners who owns TV and radios with USB ports to accommodate enrichment video or audio lessons that can be prepared by school teachers using their mobile phones and laptops. Have identified key stages or key stage learners who could have home facilitators or para-teachers to facilitate learning through educational audio and video materials. Have identified learners who might need supplemental materials for learning. All of this could be done by harvesting data from the Learner Enrollment and Survey Form, or the LESF. Many are asking, what about the kindergarten and K-Stage 1 learners? We are piloting a system wherein learners will learn with home facilitators or para-teachers, which will receive instructional audio and video materials. The said home facilitators or para-teachers that can be trained to help learning be made possible for kindergarten. Some of the SDO suggested strategies will be out soon to guide all of you on your preparations for this. At this point in time, the schools should have at least identified learners with qualified elders or home facilitators who can assist K-Stage 1 or K-Stage 1 learners learn their lesson. As the SDO fosters linkages and partnerships for you, the school leaders are expected to do the same so you can address your issues on funding or the reproduction of modules and activity sheets. To do all of this, leaders are to harness the 7 important skills of highly effective people as suggested by Stephen Covey, focusing on timeless principles of fairness, integrity, honesty, and human dignity. Habit number 1, be proactive. By being one may achieve extraordinary results by consistently executing their R&I, resourcefulness, and initiative to break through barriers. Being proactive is being responsible for the behavior, results, and growth of your organization. To be proactive, it's about taking responsibility for your life. It's the same as taking responsibility for your schools. You can keep blaming everything on your superiors, on your teachers, or to anybody. Proactive people recognize that they are responsible. You don't blame genetics, circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for your behavior, nor blame everything to the pandemic. They know and they choose their behavior. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment. People of this kind find external sources to blame for their behavior. If the weather is good, they feel good. If it isn't, it affects their attitude and performance, and they blame the weather. Be the first person in school to offer a sign of hope. Do not just wait, plan and be proactive. Take the positive response, given that you had clearly seen the situation of your schools as you had made your LCPs. Second habit, begin with the end in mind. To master this habit, develop an outcome-oriented mindset in every activity you are engaged in, like planning, webinars, presentations, fostering partnerships, etc. Focus time and energy on things that can be controlled. Always have a vision of what you want to achieve, so your steps are guided to achieve it. Your LCPs articulates your goals and aspirations in the new normal. In it, you have seen what you can do at your level to prevent disorientation as we enter into the new normal in schools. You had precisely been asked to craft your own plans, so you would have seen what you need to do ahead of time to prepare your schools for the new normal. Be careful not to neglect the most important ones among the preparations you need to do. Sometimes people find themselves achieving victories that are empty, successes that have come at the expense of things that were far more valuable than it. If your ladder is not leaning against the right wall, every step you take gets you to the wrong place faster. Be focused on your goals that guides your ways. Third habit, put first things first, or put first things first. Learn to eliminate energy and time-wasting tendencies by focusing and executing on the team's widely important goals with a weekly planning cadence. As habit one instill in us that we are in charge, and habit two instills our vision, habit three places our prioritization of actions. Habit 1 and 2 goes together to enable habit 3. How are you in terms of monitoring the work from home activities of your teachers and staff? Are you checking if the tasks assigned to them are the most needed ones for the institution of the new normal in schools? More than time and productivity management, habit 3 is about life management as well. Your purpose, values, roles, and priorities. What are first things? First things are those things you personally find of most worth. Ideally, every school leader sees that the continuity of education as our most worth concern as of now. If you put first things first, you are organizing and managing time and events according to the priorities established in Habit 2. Habit 4. Think win-win. Always lead teams that are motivated to perform superbly through a shared expectation and accountability process. I personally would like you to imbibe the very spirit of MPA, managing performance accountability. We see to it our offices deliver our expected outputs through a responsive accountability framework that makes people and systems work together in a shared expectation. Win-win sees life as a cooperative arena, not a competitive one. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win-win means agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial and satisfying. We both get to eat the pie, and it tastes pretty damn good. A person or organization that approaches conflict with a win-win attitude possesses three vital character traits. Number one, integrity. Sticking with your true feelings, values, and commitments. Number two, maturity. Expressing your ideas and feelings with courage and consideration for the ideas and feelings of others. And number three, abundance mentality. Believing there is plenty for everyone. As we face the new normal, we desire to meet our needs by managing our people, resources, and systems to ensure continuity of learning in schools. Habit number 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. School heads should create an atmosphere of helpful give and take by taking the time to fully understand issues and give candid and accurate feedback. If you're like most people, you probably seek first to be understood. You want to get your point across, and in doing so, you may ignore the other person completely, pretend that you're listening, selectively hear only certain parts of the conversation, or attentively focus on only the words being said, but miss the meaning entirely. So why does this happen? Because most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. You listen to yourself as you prepare in your mind what you are going to say, the questions you are going to ask, and others. You filter everything you hear through your life experiences, your frame of reference. You check what you hear against your autobiography and see how it measures up. And consequently, you decide prematurely what the other person means before he or she finishes communicating. As we see the various scenarios in our schools, along with our challenges, let's listen to various solutions being offered to us by our stakeholders and by the faculty and staff with the intent to understand. It is when we understood things as they are that we will be able to eventually design the most sensible steps to address them. Listen very well. The solution to your problems may just be within your hands. Habit number 6, synergize. Always demonstrate innovative problem-solving skills by seeking out differences and new and better alternatives. School heads must learn to innovate and solve problems with those who have a different point of view. To put it simply, synergy means two heads are better than one. Synergize is the habit of creative cooperation. It is teamwork, open-mindedness, and the adventure of finding new solutions to old problems. But it doesn't just happen on its own. It's a process. And through that process, people bring all their personal experience and expertise to the table. Together, they can produce far better results that they could individually. Synergy lets us discover jointly things we are much less likely to discover by ourselves. It is the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. 1 plus 1 equals 3 or 6 or 60 or you name it. As you encounter many challenges in delivering the distance learning modalities in your school, learn well and collectively involve all your personnel. Lead them to share and from it involve them to the development of solutions. Do not take everything on your own. You have a set people waiting to be involved and to share to help you make things possible. The seventh habit, sharpen the saw. Always tap into the highest and best contribution of everyone on a team by unlocking the total strength, passion, capability, and spirit of each individual. In sharpening the saw, one seeks to continuously improve and be renewed professionally and personally. Sharpen the saw means preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, you. It means having a balanced program for self-renewal in the four areas of your life: physical, social or emotional, mental, and spiritual. Here are some examples of activities. For physical, beneficial eating, exercising, and resting. And for social or emotional, making social and meaningful connections with others. And for mental, examples are learning, reading, writing, and teaching. For spiritual, spending time in nature, expanding spiritual self through meditation, music, art, prayer, or service. In the end, you can't give what you do not have. Be cautious not to be driven away by all the problems you face as we are in the dawn of the new normal in education. Take time to relax, pray, and take care of yourself. Be renewed and reinvigorated to lead, love, and nourish every personnel and learner within your ones. Just as what I had said a while ago, I personally wanted you to imbibe managing performance accountability as school leaders. The MPA program shall ensure that school heads re-engineers the processes they undertake to become more responsive to the needs of schools and of the learners in the new normal condition. The MPA program shall safeguard schools in this time of pandemic as it ensures that every school or every school head is able to account the performance of all units or all teachers under his care, and that each one delivers on time the expected outputs to ensure schools work to continue the delivery of quality education services. MPA shall change the mindset of school leaders through time to become innovative, self-reliant, quality-driven persons contributing to the change of educational landscape in the Philippines. dearest school heads and supervisors, I am hopeful that you and I can journey together in the new normal in education smoothly. Your learning continuity plans is your blueprint on how you will lead your schools to shift from normal to new normal condition. Our learners' future lies on how efficient we manage the changes that comes along our way. Do not forget, 7 habits. It will truly help us avert big crises. Together, we can make it. This has been your SDS saying, together we can make it. Stay safe always. Good luck, good health. God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manuel Albaño, for the comprehensive discussion on averting crisis in education. Friends and colleagues, once again, that was our resource person, our very own Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Manuel P. Albaño Cecil Pat. Well, I think our resource person is now ready to answer your questions. May we request to please type your questions in the chat box, and we will entertain as many questions that can be covered while we still have time. I am now looking at our live question and answer, and we have here greetings. Any questions, sir? Oh, we have here. It says, okay, thank you, sir. Sir Ronel, we have other questions in the live Q&A. Okay, so any insights and venue to have a conversation with our schools division superintendent. So let us take advantage or let us take this opportunity to speak with our schools division superintendent. So our chat box is very, very much open.
Okay, soon we will be visiting Matagpo. We will also try to check the readiness for the opening of class. We've been visiting districts already and asking our district supervisors to present their plan or action plan of the district or even action plan of the municipality, showing us the scenario they have foreseen on August 24. And hopefully, we'll also visit the municipalities in District 3 or 3rd District, starting with Villaba South. So I hope you will be preparing just a very, very short presentation on how you will figure out the opening of classes on August 24, given this situation that we have.
Thank you, sir. We have here from Sir Elmer Nankiel. It says, good afternoon, sir. Until when our schools will be used as quarantine facility?
So far, since there was the suspension of the return of LSIs, and it has just resumed recently, many of the mayors are requesting for extension. So if it allows us to allow them also to maximize the use of schools as quarantine based on the number of quarantine days, no? It's 14 days. And then there will be no more coming or returning of LSIs, then we can probably request LGUs to disinfect the schools so that it will be returned to our custody. As to specific time and date, it depends on the uh, gravity of the need of our municipalities in accommodating our returning LSIs and OFWs. Because under the Heal as One Act, we have to help one another in order for us to be able to contain the spread of COVID-19.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And we have here a question from Ma'am Beye Budlong that says, "Good afternoon, sir. Can we have a dry run on the use of modules or activity sheets prior to the opening of classes?"
Yes, yes. Just this afternoon, there's a dry run that is ongoing. And I think Rafi and Hubert took the lead, no, of doing the dry run in Granha Kalinawa National High School. And we are looking forward to have dry runs in some areas on Monday. So if you are interested, you may volunteer that we will be having our dry run in your area.
Okay po. We have here from Sir Eduardo Bugal. It's not a question, sir, but it says, "Thank you, Sir Manny, for the informative presentation." And from Ma'am Angelita Dayday Caballera, "You are really great, sir, and my salute po." Okay.
Thank you.
So, any other questions?
Ma'am Faith, nasa chat box po, Ma'am Faith.
Okay, so we have another question. It says, "When can we receive the soft copies of the modules?"
We are trying to coordinate with the regional office as to the other modules. By now, we can already provide you the soft copies for grade 5 modules. But for the rest of the levels and subject areas in the secondary, pretty soon, once it's available, we will let you have a copy.
Okay, so thank you po, sir. Ito po, sir, medyo, ewan ko, sir, kung part siya ng crisis, averting crisis in education. The question is, when can we claim our loyalty pay po?
Benefits like loyalty pay and other benefits that can be charged to savings depends on the savings of our agency or our office. And savings can only be determined on the last month of the third quarter or probably first month of the last quarter. So by now we cannot say that we have savings. But once there are savings, then most probably all benefits will be given to you. Nagkaroon lang ng problema last 2019 because we ran short of our budget. So that's why many benefits have not been paid. But we're trying our best this time that we'll be able to at least pay the payables that our personnel are asking.
Thank you, sir. We have another question, and it says from Ma'am Emily Nedira. It says, "Good afternoon, sir. How are we going to conduct the psychosocial activities during the first 2 weeks of opening of classes, since the budget of lessons made is budgeted already?"
Will we consider that division level? So we have Karen to handle the psychosocial support. And before the opening of classes, we will let you know the strategies regarding or relative to psychosocial and psychological support for our personnel, including teachers and other non-teaching personnel.
Ato na ang slide number 18.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So you're still encouraging our school head to
Pinikula with the plate niya.
fill in our chat box for any other questions. Ito po, hindi po question, Sir Manny. Sabi niya, thank you so much, sir, for this webinar.
Magre-reply nila yun.
Meron pa po no? So, yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, good Mr.
iya, mister.
Spoker.
Ma'am Faith? Hello, Ma'am Faith?
Okay, so I'm currently looking at the live question and answer. And ito po, mga greetings lang po, watching from as far as Silongos National Vocational School. Okay, so I guess
Okay.
yan lang po ang ating mga tanong for Dr. Manuel Albaño.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our supervisors, our school heads, and everybody who participated in this first episode of the webinar series for leadership. And I'd like also to thank the brain of this activity, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Henrita Managbanan. And I'd like also to thank all others supporting that this may become possible. Our Assistant Superintendent also, Dr. Cirlita Palma, our Chief Education Supervisor of the SGOD, Dr. Rodilia Urbino, our Chief Education Supervisor of the Curriculum Implementation Division, Dr. Espinosa, our MC, the ever beautiful Faith. Thank you so much. Very articulate. You know what articulate means? Arte na kulit pa. Joke. So again, thank you so much. Hoping to see you again in the next episode of our leadership. And we in the office would want you to be healthy, safe. So always follow the health protocol set by our local IATF. And please befriend your stakeholders because in these times of pandemic, we needed them most to support us in our reproduction of the modules. Thank you, thank you. Good luck, good health, God bless us all.
Thank you so much, Sir Dr. Albaño. And may I request everyone now to open your video and microphones to show our virtual appreciation to our resource person.
Thank you,
Okay, we
sir.
will take
Yes,
a photo of this session. So may we request everyone to please open your video.
Ano na?
Open na. Open na.
Thank you so much again. Thank you. We have learned a lot from this webinar. Please do not forget to ensure that you have open email you can open that is again the closing message of our assistant school division articulate the effortfully called Dr. Henrietta Tito Managbago. Thank you very much, Ate Mac. Pilot episode of this Leadership Trends webinar series on technical assistance in the new normal. I know, nawa po kayo, but there's more to come. This is a series, so this will be a year-round journey. So as what I mentioned a while ago this morning, na journey with Sir Manny, journey with me, journey with Ma'am Sherlita, and with all of us, definitely we would really hit the target, and that is, of course, the achievement of our ultimate goal, which is to provide quality, equitable, relevant, and equitable education for all. But first and foremost, our most
sincere gratitude, of course, to our highly esteemed guest resource speaker this morning, no less than the top-notch official of DepEd Region 8, our very dynamic and indefatigable Regional Director, Dr. Ramir B. Oidico, who never failed and who never refused our humble invitation, which we just sent last week. And we know already that he has a very hectic engagement. So I think right now he had 4, no? So that's how indefatigable our regional director is. And of course, likewise to the father of our division, SDS Dr. Manuel P. Albaño, whose unrelenting spirit and dynamism transcends the whole 1,353 school leaders like you here in front of me, and more or less 17,000 teaching personnel in the entire province of Leyte. So his all-out support made this whole initiative of leadership truly instrumental, and it made it possible. And of course, so my co-pilot, Dr. Shirley Palma, who in as much as her desire to be with us this morning, but she also had a webinar on the GPTV. It pertains to procurements, and definitely with one of the topics for our leadership series, because definitely it would orient and help you to be updated and not updated in this new normal. So to our CID and SGOB chiefs, Ma'am BP and Ma'am Feli, and of course to our education program supervisors, who's struggling to really focus their attention to attend to 3 webinars, 2 from the region and 1 from our very own division. So you could just imagine how flexible they are now and how they have fully embraced the new normal. And also to our unwavering information technology officer, Ronelo Bulano, is the most sought after, not just elusive bachelor kasi taken na siya. Because now, they are always in top. No, we could not live without him at this moment. Definitely, we will, of course, be capacitating our unit heads and our leaders, as you will also eventually post your own series of technical assistance to your fellow school heads and to your teachers. And also to our senior education program specialists, we have our moderator this morning, Karen, and now Fatima Christie, and of course, Ma'am Jenny of the HRD. We have Mary Ann and La Arnie of the FNE and the SOCMOB, and also some of the staff, of the SGOD. And of course, the men and women behind the Leadership Transform Management team, which is already the memorandum issued to you, I think 2-3 days ago. And of course, to our MKE vanguards, kayo po yan, our public service dedicated servants, or our PSSS and our PICs, and to all the school heads who were always ready and willing to extend a full arm of extra mile of services, particularly in this challenging times of uncertainties, as we now call the new normal, or probably the next normal. So, my dear fellow vanguards and frontliners, this is just the beginning, no? We will never stop from this, because as our good Secretary, Honorable Leonor Magtulis Picones, would always painstakingly advocate and would always pronounce that education must continue and it cannot stop no matter what. So it strongly resonates from our hearts and our minds that we are the prime movers of the organizations. As prime movers, we should also be shakers and initiators of good reforms and good initiatives for the betterment of our learners and of course also our teachers. So this is a series of assistance so valuable to all of us as we go along in this noble journey. So please do stay with us, journey with us. So in closing, let me share this quote from the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, and I quote, "We are in this together, so we will go through this together." So with this, let me say and allow me to say once again, good afternoon, maopay nga hapon nato nga tanan, God bless us all. To God be all the glory. Thank you.
Once again, on behalf of our digital leaders, Dr. Manuel P. Albaño, Dr. Sherlita A. Palma, Dr. Henrietta Tito Managbanak, and to our two chiefs, I am Fatima Christy Palanya saying, thank you for joining us today. Keep safe, everyone.
Wapa nilang tanan.
Abtik lagi jud ka makoy.
Salamat.
Mami Bilin, yes, buka.
Jasmine.
Pagwapa dyan
Bilin.
mo.
Ikaw rin, yes, din ha. Tanan.